Our society has definitely become masters at increasing the amount of things that we can measure. More and more money, more and more floor space per capita, more and more GDP, and less of the things that we can't measure, or how happy we are. Levels of intimacy. The authenticity of our communication. Aesthetic pleasure. How much beauty there is in our experience. Fulfillment. So that we come to a point where we're apparently very, very rich. I just read an article in the Wall Street Journal about how civilization is such a great success. There are fewer people in poverty than there were a generation ago. There are fewer people getting killed in wars. There are fewer murders, fewer people dying of diseases, even fewer people dying in plane crashes and car crashes. People are smarter. The average IQ level is 30 points higher than it was 50 years ago, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, yeah, things are just great. Everything is awesome in terms of what we measure. But what about the things that we do not measure? Or the things that we can't measure? Or the things that are unmeasurable? So I think that we feel a lack of something, but we don't know what it is. And all of these statistics about how rich we are, how privileged we are, how fortunate we are, like these things are all telling us, well, you shouldn't be unhappy. You're irrational for thinking something is missing. But then we sometimes get a glimpse of what has been sacrificed in the pursuit of more and more and more. We could talk about the industrial food system and how food is becoming less and less flavorful. We could talk about how our electronically mediated relationships are less intimate and less meaningful than when we saw the faces of the people that we knew and interacted with them every day. We could talk about the ugliness of the modern landscape, the big box stores and the strip malls and the auto dealerships and the self-storage units, compared to the architecture that was quite normal a couple hundred years ago. Something is missing. Something is not captured by our measurements. And that always leaves us hungry for this missing thing. This hunger is good for business because it drives the acquisition of whatever's available, which is more and more and more of the stuff we already have. And no matter how much I get, I'm still hungry. I still want something. I mean, for some people, it turns into an addiction to literal stuff. What they really are is lonely. Because real existence is a function of relationship. The more relationships that you're in, the more held you are by community, the more present you feel in the world. So, generally speaking, the robbery of the qualitative, beauty, intimacy, fulfillment, joy, meaning, has primed us to be good consumers. And then we turn around and blame the symptom, blame the greed, blame the selfishness, blame the addiction. As if you weren't actually hungry. Yeah, you're hungry. It's just not hungry for stuff. Not hungry for the things that are offered. For something else. The good life is not lost forever, though. We are recovering our memory of it, and therefore no longer accepting the substitutes. And we feel grateful to those who have remembered the truth this whole time.
A perda do imensurável nos causou feridas profundas, criando apetites insaciáveis pelos substitutos mais próximos. Temos fome de aventura. A sociedade nos oferece videogames. Temos fome de autenticidade. A sociedade nos oferece reality shows. Temos fome de conexão. A sociedade nos oferece compras. Temos fome de intimidade. A sociedade nos oferece pornografia. Temos fome de expressar nossa grandeza. A sociedade nos oferece heróis do esporte. Temos fome de nos sentir entusiasmados com nosso trabalho. A sociedade nos oferece café. Temos fome de sentir que pertencemos. A sociedade nos oferece drogas e álcool. Temos fome de significado. A sociedade nos oferece empregos. Temos fome de nos sentir seguros no mundo. A sociedade nos oferece dinheiro. Para curar a nós mesmos e ao nosso mundo, precisamos começar a compreender tanto o que perdemos, como do que realmente temos fome. Do que você realmente tem fome?